Welcome to the MBU Coaches Show. I'm Drew Fry alongside Coach Ted Leagraff. How's the team looking this year?
So far, so good. Been practicing well. We're young. One senior starter out of the group. A lot of sophomores. But everything looks good so far.
And, new season upon us. You got 2 games under your belt right now.
Correct.
You guys started down in Louisiana. 2 losses, unfortunately, but against good competition.
Very good, yes.
You guys played well. Tell me a little bit about that trip.
We played Our Lady of the Lakes first game. I think they were the highest scoring team in NAIA last year. We're number 2 most of the year, I believe. Went to the World Series. We lost 2-0 to them. Hits were even 5 apiece. They got the timely hits, we didn't. So, a very good team, well coached. The pitcher they got there, Valdez, is special.
And then you got ended short because of rain. It's bad weather.
Yes.
You guys were in the middle of your CMU game. So you got a few games this weekend. You guys are traveling down to Texas, leaving tomorrow, I assume?
Leaving tomorrow, yes. So we'll have 6 games there.
6 games? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, they're ranked teams again. 11-time national champion, Oklahoma City, University of Science and Arts of Oklahoma, Midland, and a few others there. So, be tough games again.
What are you expecting to see from your team, learning from last weekend?
I expect them to play strong and not quit. I mean, that's what they do. No give in them, and let the chips fall where they may. But they're a resilient group, and they just keep fighting. So proud of that.
So what's the team looking like this year? You got a lot of newcomers or an older group?
Younger group, actually. I guess most of my starters are sophomores, only 1 freshman, and got a grad student pitcher. But we are not, I don't think there's a freshman starter at the moment. So mostly sophomores.
Okay.
A few juniors.
Okay. How important is it to play tough games like this early on in the year for later on down the road?
Well, the way I told my crew is we're playing the teams now that we want to play at the end, and they're going to let us know what we got to do to get to them again at the end. That's pretty much how I laid it out, and so they're good with it.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the Coaches Show. It's Eddie Ushold. I'm Kevin Paulus, and Coach, it's a new season. Can't believe it's here already, but let's talk a little bit about the team for 2024. Let's start on the offensive side. We'll talk about the pitching in a second. A few new faces, but for the most part, you bring back a ton of what you had last year.
Yeah, our first game lineup against William Carey was all returners. Mm-hmm. And Cal Bermudez has been in the program. That was his first start, and he did really well. But that was all returners. Guys been in the program at least 1 year. And so we have, offensively, I think we got 6 first team position players returning from conference, and then we have another pitcher, and we have a second teamer. So I think we have 8 in all team, first team all conference, second team all conference guys returning this year. And, we got a lot of things to iron out. They have the potential to be as good as an offense as we've ever had, maybe. We can run a little bit. We can definitely hit the ball at the park. We can put the ball in play, and we can strike out. So, I like where we're at. The guys have put a lot of time in. We saw William Carey's pitching was very good, and Campbellsville's pitching was good. Mm-hmm. But Williams Carey, we saw 7 guys from William Carey, and we didn't see 1 guy under 87. Mm-hmm. And everybody had a slider. And so everything didn't go exactly the way we wanted to over the past weekend, but for the most part, we did a good job and we got a lot to learn into. But we got a lot of good guys coming back.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll talk about those this past weekend in a minute. But just kind of focusing on what you bring back, it's never a bad thing when you start your returner list with guys like Blaine Bessie and Alex Adams and Blaine Yarger and Cole Robinson. You know, those are some names. That's your top 4 in your lineup, and they all had a pretty good weekend. But it's really a luxury to be able to bring all of that back going into
Yeah,
this
no
season.
question. Those 4 guys, and then you're working down, and Jocko, Jacob Koneski, and you got Joe Schmidt, as good a catching tandem as there is in the country. And you get in, Kyle has just worked really, really hard. Kyle Bermudez has put a lot of time, and just the thing is, these guys, those guys you're talking about, they're really good players, but they put the time in the weight room, they put the time in on the field during practice, and they put the time in the classroom. All those guys are pretty good students too, and so you're just kind of like, I don't want to say it's easy, but those guys make my job easier because they're very good players, they're talented, and I trust them, and I think that's one of the reasons of success because I think, obviously, Coach Grazer does a phenomenal job with our offense, and we just trust those guys. And they put the time in, and that's what I like most about this team. We got all these guys coming back. We don't have to get on them too much. We got to reel them back a little bit, help them, hey, this is what's going on. But we got a good group of guys that understand. They love Missouri Baptist. They love Missouri Baptist baseball, and they're bought in, and they know what's expected of them here.
Yeah, let's talk about a little bit about the pitching staff. A little bit of upheaval there, guys not returning from last year, and then you got some early season injury situations. But, just from this past weekend, the guys you brought in are fitting right in and already look like they're ready for big roles as well.
Yeah, again, good dudes that are putting in their time.
Yeah.
And, Anthony Green's, everybody in the country, where's Anthony Green this weekend? I mean, they were talking about it on the broadcast. I got people calling me. Anthony's just working through some things, and it's nothing personal. Anthony hasn't done anything wrong. He's got an injury that we're working through. I don't want to get into depth in it, and we think he's going to be available for an inning or two this weekend. And he's going to be close to where he usually is. We just got to ramp him back up again. We had to back off of him for a little bit, and we got to ramp him back up again. And Anthony Caldwell got a lot of big outs for us last year, and he didn't travel this past weekend, and he's going to get a start this coming weekend. He just didn't travel for different reasons. And then a guy named Anu Reese, who's a new guy, and he was scheduled to pitch our second game this past weekend, and he's still working through some little forearm tightness and some things. And we're just trying to be smart early in the season and not try to make those guys push them. And so we had guys step up. Teague Robertson started game 1, and then we had our old combo from last year, man. I don't know if there's a better, when you got Brady Steffen and Scout Rallo coming in, and those guys have gotten a lot of big outs for us. And it kind of worked out. The first game worked out almost like we had planned. And we were going in down a couple arms, and Teague gave us a little depth, and then Jackson Wells came in and pitched pretty well. Greg Ryan stepped out of the bullpen, stepped into the starting role, thrown a little harder, a little crisper stuff this year. So we feel really good where we're at. And we had Landon Albers, a freshman who got a lot of big outs for us last year. Got a start against Campbellsville and got us through 4 innings with 2 runs. And we always tell our guys, if you can hold this other team to 4 runs, maybe 5, 95% of the time we're going to win the game.
Yeah, you and I texted a little bit over the weekend. Obviously I was a little concerned about pitching because, Greg Ryan gets a start, Landon Albers gets a start because of, some of the things that you talked about, a little shorthanded. Both did very, very well, but the pitching depth, once you get back to health, doesn't seem like it's going to be a concern for this team.
You always, pitching, you just don't know.
Yeah. Especially early in the year.
You just don't know, and I feel really good about where we're at. And really over the weekend, we only had 1 bad inning, and I'm not trying to get on Greg, but that was, I think I was trying to ask a little too much of Greg because I was trying to save some innings for the next day.
Yeah.
And I probably should have got Greg out of there a little earlier than I did, and he wouldn't have wanted to come out anyway.
Right.
But, I probably tried to ask a little bit too much of him too soon. And, we were going into the game, hey, Greg gets us 3 good ones, we'll be happy with that. We try to squeeze a fourth one out of them, and we make a play here or there, and we just had that 1 tough inning. But other than that, I feel really good about where we're at. We still got a couple guys that haven't gotten on the mound yet. Like I said, Tony Caldwell is going to get on the mound this weekend. Our hope is that Anthony Green's going to throw an inning or 2, and Anu, we're going to set him down for 1 more week. Still working through some things. We're hoping that he's ready for the weekend over in Baker, or maybe the weekend with Central Methodist. But I do feel good, and we failed to mention Spencer Smith, who's a graduate transfer from Edwardsville, who jumped up on the mound on Saturday, threw 2 innings of shutout baseball, and was just throwing pellets. I mean, it was 96, 96, 96, 96, and was in the zone, was competitive, and just brought some life to our team. And one I want to mention, because we were playing the first game against Campbellsville, and we were just kind of dragging along. We were the rhythm wasn't like we wanted it, offensively, defensively, and we were having a hard time.
First
and
game
Sean King,
Friday morning.
Sean King comes in and faces 6 hitters, gets 7 hitters, gets 6 outs, and it happened like that. And he's just boom, 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 boom. That picked up our offense. That changed the whole complexion of the weekend. Sean coming in and giving us those 2 innings, and it just changed the rhythm of the game. And our guys, we picked it up that 7th inning offensively. And so there's all these little nuggets in there. Sean's not going to just jump out at you, but he is 87. He's 86, 87, and he throws strikes and he competes. And so there's a lot of little nuggets in there that people don't realize. I'll take a right-hander, throw an 87 with control, with command, any day of the week. And Sean did that for us this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just a final point on that, it's more important to have these guys healthy in April and May than it is, February. So, obviously taking some caution now, especially with those top-end guys, makes a lot of sense. Let's talk a little bit about, briefly, we can talk about last weekend, winning 1 of 2 from number 4 William Carey, and you get 2 wins over Campbellsville. Just overall thoughts on the weekend. We don't have to break down each game individually, but just your thoughts.
There's things we got to work on, no question. But if you go down there and play, William Carey's pitching staff is probably as good as we saw 7 pitchers. Nobody was under 87, 88, and they all had good secondary pitches. And our guys battled. I mean, the one kid came out. We knocked their conference pitcher of the year out of the game. They brought this guy in from the bullpen. He's 88 to 91. He's got a nasty slider. He struck out 8 of 16 hitters he saw. And so we saw really good pitching, and we found a way. That first game I was telling you was just a really good college game. They played really well. We played really well. We happened to have 2 more runs than them at the end of the game. And it was just a really good game. And Campbellsville is a good team. And both of those guys are really good friends of mine, and both of those guys are mentors. They were joking going into the second game. Bobby Halford at William Carey was saying, hey, this next game when we play each other, when Campbellsville plays William Carey, he goes, these might be the 2 oldest guys in coaching against each other. Because I think they're both in their 70s. But both great guys, and they've done great jobs with their program. So it was really good to see them. And I'm excited for Buford because he was looking for some toughness out of his team, and they kind of showed some of that. Because they were resilient with us, and then they went and we walked them off on an air, and then they went and beat William Carey 7-4, I think the score was. So it was a really good weekend. You always want to win every game, but to come back with 3-1 and a win against the number 4 team, Gun Country, who's a legit top 10 team, and get two wins against a team who's probably got a chance to be in the top 25 somewhere along the way in the season is a good weekend for us.
Cajun Collision coming up this weekend. Doesn't get a whole lot easier. I forget who the other 2 opponents are, but you're going to play University of Mobile, who I think is number 18, and then Georgia Gwinnett, number 2 in the country, is your final game on Saturday. So just kind of overall what we're looking for this weekend. We're
opening up against Sagu from Waxahachie, Texas, and they're good. They've won 30. They've had 30 wins the last 3 or 4 years. Really good quality club. They're really fast. I got a lefty. I don't know if we're going to see him. I'm assuming we are because we're playing in the first game. Got a lefty, drops down, kind of firm. He's really tough. He lost 3-1 to Central Methodist. So we're going to probably see him in the first game. They like to do a lot of little stuff. And then the next game is Mid-American Christian, who is also another borderline tournament team last year. They're very good from a very good conference. Then you get into Mobile, and then you get into Gwinnett. And Mobile is very good. They got a lot of guys coming. They lost their best hitter, but they got some new guys in there, and then Gwinnett's just every year is going to be in the top 5, top 10. So that's the kind of program that we think we are, and so we want to play them. And we're looking forward to that, and that should be hopefully a nice getaway game. And I look forward to it. We got Tony Caldwell scheduled to go against Gwinnett right now, and hopefully it plays itself out that way this weekend so we can start him. And we'll see what happens. There's some rain in the forecast, but we'll see what happens. We're looking forward to just playing. It's a great atmosphere. You're going to get to go with us this year, and it's just a really cool atmosphere. You got 5 fields going at one time. I think there's 8 or 10 teams that are in the top 25 down there. It's just a really neat atmosphere. So we're looking forward to it.
Let's talk a little bit big picture as we start to wind down a little bit. You've been working all off season, improvements to the facility, to the baseball field. Some things worked out, other things didn't work out so well. Tell the audience here what they can look forward to when they visit Spartan Field.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. We built state-of-the-art, brand new cages. They're done. We just got some little finer branding stuff we got to get done. So we're really happy with those cages. They're very nice. We got to use them for the first time yesterday at practice. So it was the first time we didn't, because they weren't completely done during the fall. We didn't use them in the fall. We just hit inside at the end of the fall. So those are done. We got to use them yesterday. We're really excited. As you pull up, they look really nice. We've redone the netting on the baseball and softball fields. We've got new foul poles up, which are 30 feet high.
Can't miss them.
What's that?
Can't miss them.
Can't miss them. That's a big joke from last year, because we had a guy hit a home run that everybody in the park swore was 10 feet foul, and the umpire made a comment about our foul poles, and he was right. So we tried to rectify that situation. And then we're doing some stuff in the dugout. We put new railings. We've extended our dugouts a little bit with new railings and netting, and we're replacing our helmet racks and our bat racks. So it's a nice investment into the field. It's a first step in hope of about 3 or 4 steps to get us where we want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Final thing, big picture, we've compared all of our numbers, and you, sir, are 1 game away from a milestone.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I didn't know that was the number.
Yeah, you're at 899.
Okay.
So it's going to happen this weekend. Talk a little bit about that. Let's rehash the last, 26 years, 25 years? Something like
that would be 24 years. 23 and a half. 23 and a half.
What is, and we'll talk about it after it happens, but what's that mean? That's a big number.
I think right now it's cool, but it means that I've had really good coaches. I mean, going back from J.D. Arndt and Damon Burkhart and Marcus Bond helping me when I started this whole thing, to Kenny Grazer coming in, and Kenny's been part of the program either as a player, as a student coach, or as an assistant coach, 21 out of my 24 years. And so it'll be 21 out of 25 years when we're done this year. So that continuity has been a big part of it. And just, we get good baseball players and good student athletes, man, and you just try not to screw them up too bad. That's basically what it is. I mean, you work hard, and I'm not trying to, be all super humble about it, but it's just, without good help, without good coaches, without good players, we wouldn't be talking about this. So that's an exciting thing, and I look forward to it. I didn't know exactly what the number was because I asked you guys last year, and then I just you guys said you're going to work through it. So that's exciting. If that's the official number, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And that'll be a nice milestone. And then hopefully we'll win the next one. So I mean,
we get to 901.
And I'm sure, if I end up retiring or whatever in the next 10, 12 years or whatever happens, that when you look back on it, it'll be nice. But I hope there's a lot more than just the 900 in the future.
Absolutely.
And so hoping one of those ones between 900 and 1,000 is the one that's going to get us out west.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's what we're looking for.
Thanks.
Appreciate the time, man.
That's Eddie Ushold. This has been the Coaches Show on the Spartan Digital Network.